My name is Tembelanga Mbule, who works for Junior Achievement Eswatini as one of the coordinators of the program that are run in school. The topic I'll be talking about briefly is the sale of shares in your JA mini company. If I'll just start by defining what is a share. A share is a unit of ownership in a company, mutual fund, financial asset, or trust. Buying shares in a company provides the shareholder with equity in the company because you have a part of that company which you have bought as a share. As a shareholder, you are entitled to a portion of the profit it makes, and this is paid out as a dividend. When we are talking of shares in the JA company, we have about 160 of the shares that are fixed in 160, contrary to what is written in your manual, which is 150. Junior Achievement increased the number of the shares to 160. Each of the share cost about 5 emalangeni. It is a must for each member, for each one who wants to be part of the company, of this company, to have at least one share. If you don't have a share, then you can continue with some of the businesses or the activities that are there in our school. Otherwise, it is a must for you to buy at least one share. What Junior Achievement does so that to accommodate those kind of products or services that you find that they are costing much more higher to produce or to start to produce, Junior Achievement has allowed us to increase the value of the share from 5 emalangeni, but we don't exceed 20 emalangeni. It can be any amount between 5 emalangeni or 20 emalangeni, but we don't exceed the 20 emalangeni. The reason is, if you can go to the book, it says each of the shares 5 emalangeni. Let's say we have a total number of 160 of the shares. If we have bought all of the shares and each of the share is 5 emalangeni, if you say 160 times 5 emalangeni, you are going to get about 800 emalangeni. And then you will find that you have a product. Your product is about needs a startup capital of 1,000 emalangeni. Then you don't have any way to get the money. Then Junior Achievement is saying maybe you can try to raise the funds quicker by increasing the value of the share, say making it about 10 emalangeni, which is going to give you much more money at a short space of time. You can also fundraise. You can decide of any activity. If the amount of money you have raised through the shares is not enough for you to start up your business, you can fundraise. You can also come to Junior Achievement, as it has been mentioned with the other topics, that you can borrow money from Junior Achievement. Those are the 3 sources of finance that you can use to have or to start up your company. When people buy shares, it means they are buying a share in the company. The shareholders are the legal owners of the company. If the company makes money, which is profit, then the shareholders are going to receive that money as dividends. But if also you're not making money, at the end, you guys are going to incur a loss, which means you're going to get less money, or rather you are going to lose in the company. Owning a share of the company does not mean that you have to always work. Sometimes you don't have to work. You've just bought the share and your shares are going to be working for you, but then you still have to be there to vote on the decisions that the company wants to take. So you should be there for the meetings that have been scheduled by the management. There are stakeholders in your company, which comes in the form of your company members, your shareholders, and the customers. Please take note of this, that each company has 160 of the shares, and everyone must sell at least 1 or 2 of the shares. It is not just the responsibility of the facilitator, me as a facilitator, or one person to sell the shares. People must sell the shares. Each company, a company member, as I've just mentioned, must have at least one share. It is a must for you. If you don't have a share, you don't become part of the company. And each member will have equal voting rights. You must take note of that. Equal voting rights. Yes, when we come to a real company, when I have much more of the shares, my voting power is much bigger than the others who have got less of the shares. But then for us to be able to work in the JA company, we tried to bend that rule a little bit so that we are all equal in the company, so that we don't find ourselves producing what that one major shareholder wants us to produce. So here we have equal voting power, and then the shares are not sold to JA company members. The shares that are not sold to JA company members are called non-voting shares, as these people will not have a say in the running of a company. At the end of it all, at the end of the business, when you guys decide to liquidate, you are going to get your money as shares. It is easy to calculate the dividend share, which is to say if you guys have sold about 120 of the shares, and you have made a profit of 1,000, you say you're going to say your net profit divide by the number of the shares sold. If say we have 120 shares and then we have sold about 1,000, we have a profit of about 1,000, then we are going to have a dividend share of about 8.33.